It's August 5th, and welcome to Life Journal Jumpstart. I'm John Burgess, pastor here at New Hope Oahu, and I'm so glad you have joined us today as we continue in the Old and the New Testament, 2 Kings 23, 2 Chronicles 35, and John chapter 7. Now we get to read the continuing encouraging move of God through King Josiah, who is tearing down everything that's not of God, that has been built by the fathers and kings before him, and is really responding to the word of the Lord. And it says this about him in verse 25, "Neither before nor after Josiah was there a king like him, who turned to the Lord as he did, with all of his heart, with all of his soul, and with all of his strength, in accordance with all the laws of Moses." This is something that I want to be described of myself, and I'm sure you do as well. This definition of integrity, the adherence to a code, God's code, an incorruptibility, unimpaired condition, a soundness of mind and heart, a quality of completeness. It was his soul, his mind, and his body. He was 100% into this. There wasn't any portion of him where he's like, well, I'll trust God in these areas, or I'll obey God's law in these areas, but this area I'm going to keep to myself. There was no segmentation, and I pray that that would be true of you and I. Moving into John chapter 7, verse 5 talks about how even his brothers didn't believe that Jesus was the Messiah. Verse 12 talks about how the crowd, it was widespread whispering, some saying he's a good man, and others saying, nah, he deceives the people. Verse 32 of John chapter 7 talks about how the Pharisees heard the crowd whisperings, and the chief priests and the Pharisees sent temple guards to arrest him. What this paints for is a picture that you and I can never base the effectiveness or the intentionality of our ministry based on popularity. So much of our culture right now is all about how many likes we're getting on our latest social media post, or who is applauding what we've just said, or who is sharing what it is that we've just posted. And yet his family, his friends, his disciples, the crowds, and the religious leaders all were doubting him. But he knew, he already had the approval of the Father. And I want you to know you have that as well, that you can continue to live out the obedience of God in your life, even if it seems like everyone else around you doesn't agree. We're not living for the applause of man. We're not living to earn the approval of man. You already have the approval of God the Father. Just jump into what he's doing and live out the purposes that God has for you. Can't wait to see you tomorrow. God bless.